So, meine Damen und
Ladies
Herren,
and gentlemen,
wir haben hier einen kleinen,
right now we have an extraordinary talk of a presentation that I am doing on behalf of licht.de, and I'm glad to see so many of you. Please join us here in the presentation area. Some of you have heard this presentation at licht.de and exhibition stand in this hall 3.0, and now we have this talk at Design Plaza here at Light and Building. Ladies and gentlemen, hello. We have two words that are covering the world. It sounds esoteric for those who are not in the world of light. It is LSDP, an abbreviation, two abbreviations conquering the world, LSDP and HCL. Let me talk about these two abbreviations. My name is Peter Dehoff. I am talking on behalf of licht.de. We are the initiative of the ZVEI Manufacturers Association, and we talk about topics of light for the world of light. We'd like to discuss what we're doing and make it easier to understand. The two abbreviations, LSDP and HCL, what does that mean? Well, LSDP, it is Lighting System Design Process, and the other term is HCL. Most in the lighting industry know it. It is not salicylic acid, it is human-centric lighting. Why are we talking about these two terms and how do they connect? Let me discuss it in this short presentation. So we are talking about HCL, human-centric lighting. As a little reminder, we will hear why planning is so essential for human-centric lighting and why the planning process has to be described and is already well known. And the user is the person for whom the human-centric lighting, the light the user has, the consumer has as the center of their attention, so important. Let me also talk about a survey on the topic, and I have a QR code for you at the end of my presentation. In our association and the lighting industry, we have defined human-centric lighting early on. It is a term that is important for us in industry because at the beginning of the century, this non-visual effect of light was understood. Science has shown us that light also has an unconscious effect. We have something in our eye that also acts on our hormones. It suppresses melatonin if the color of the light is slightly blue, and if there is no light, it gives hormones a chance to be generated, to develop. But light is not only non-visual, light also has the visual aspect, emotional and biological aspect. So it has this holistic effect on the human being. And human-centric lighting as a concept is supposed to discuss and explain these many different effects of light on the human being in order to improve the visual, emotional and biological effects of light on the human being, on the human being's well-being. The definition was important for us already 8 years ago, and then we started to formulate it. We came up with this little guideline, light.knowledge, licht.wissen. If you visit our website, licht.de, it's a PDF, licht.wissen. That's our little series. And we have the brochure on the human-centric lighting. It is a little guideline. The guideline helps us to understand this concept. The other 20 guidelines and brochures talk about other aspects like the basic understanding of light, different areas of application like school, office, street light, light in stores, for instance. Let's have this little picture for human-centric lighting. This is this graph, and it shows the three components of light: biological, visual, and emotional effect of lighting. And that always has to be part of the human-centric lighting concept. But we also have this precondition that we have good planning, that the lighting that was planned is well installed, is rightly installed, and is rightly and correctly commissioned, because your lighting design has to be commissioned and operated correctly. Light always has an effect, but it has to be planned. We have to use it in a long-term basis. In our guideline, we see the certain structure here. I'm not reading out the structure of the guideline. Maybe you want to download it. But we understand what happens with human-centric lighting during the course of the day. And we have examples for special applications in the office, in school, industry, and at home. Well, I cannot read out the entire brochure for you, but you can get it either the physical brochure, the hard copy in 3.0, where you order it or get your hard copy, or a PDF download for you. But the fact that we have this process, visual, emotionally, biologically, visual planning, that's something we know how to do, because that is important for the human eye. We know that we need it. That's why we use lighting, in order to read something or detect something. And we have standards like DIN EN 1264, lighting for offices and others for sports areas. That's the visual plan that helps us, that we have a dimension of light for the human eye, so that the human eye really is efficient and performant. Light is emotionally very important. Light is something that we like, and sometimes there is a light that we don't like. It is the emotional and psychological aspect of light planning. And level number 3 is the biological aspect. Biological light in the evening. It can suppress melatonin. We don't sleep well. In the morning, we need light in order to suppress melatonin, to be wide awake and fresh. That is what nature wants. It's day activity and night calm and quiet and sleep. Artificial light gets us off balance. But we can plan, and we have standards or specifications like DIN 5031-100, where we talk about the efficiency of spectral light, and DIN specifications 600, where we talk about planning of light and its visual aspect and effect. All three components should be well known if you are doing light planning. And the installation should be well installed, operated and commissioned. And operation over a longer period of time is important. How come? Because this concept is a long-term planning process. And we said we have planning processes as such in our little guideline that we described. And every light planner knows it. Every head of a project knows that we have the plan, we have the installation, the commissioning, of course. Then we double-check whether everything works well. And then we have operation and maintenance of our light system. This enables us to have the right application of the concept human-centric lighting. Where does the planning process come from? LSDP. We know it from a European specification. It's called TS, European Standard Specification 17165, where we discuss this process. And as a European standard with a different number, 67503, that's how we publish it. That's the planning process for lighting systems. Why do you write a standard, a DIN specification specification, German industry standard DIN.
als wir das begonnen haben,
What was our
dass
goal?
eben diese Spezifikation
Well,
des
we said the
Planungsprozesses auch
specification
ein
of the
zitierbares
planning
Werk
process should be
Gegenüber der
something
Politik zum
that you can
Beispiel.
quote if you talk to
Es wäre ja
politicians.
schön für
It would
Planer,
be
dass die
nice for someone who
Beleuchtungsanlage, wenn sie
plans
geplant
everything
wird,
after
auch
planning
entsprechend kompetent abgenommen
to have
werden
a
soll.
competent commissioning
Man kann keine
process.
Heizungsanlage ohne technische
If you
Abnahmen
have a new
installieren.
heating system, you have an
Beleuchtungsanlagen
official
kann man
technical
aufhängen, was man will,
commissioning
guckt nie
process.
einer drauf.
Lighting, no
Und wir
one double
wünschen uns
checks.
eigentlich,
You
dass
just
eine
install
gute,
whatever you want.
speziell eine
And what we
gesteuerte
want is that a
Beleuchtungsanlage
specially
auch
well-controlled
abgenommen wird, ob sie denn richtig
unit
und gut
will be
funktioniert.
commissioned, will be
Und um das
checked
der
as to
Politik
its
auch
correct
bewusst zu machen,
functioning
haben wir diesen
in order to
Prozess
make this
eben auch in ein
in order to make an awareness process, we have this standard
das ist der
text
Grund,
that
warum
we
es
can
diesen
quote.
LSDP gibt.
That's why we have the
Sie sehen, es ist ganz
LSDP
wichtig,
in
dass wir
writing.
Planung,
You see, it is
Installation,
important.
Inbetriebnahme
Planning,
und Betrieb eines
installation,
Konzeptes immer
commissioning,
als
and
Ganzes sehen.
operation is
Es
one
mag
holistic process.
banal klingen,
It sounds
für Lichtplaner
banal maybe
ohnehin.
to you for
Wenn
light
wir aber
planners.
wissen, dass nicht mal
But as
15%
soon as
der
we know that
Beleuchtungsanlagen, die
less than
installiert werden, geplant sind,
15% of all
das
the
Licht
light concepts
manchmal
are well
einfach nur
planned,
installiert
light
wird,
is simply being
ohne
installed
grundlegende
without
Überlegungen zu den
basic
lichttechnischen
ideas concerning light
Planungsparametern,
technique
dann muss uns
parameters.
klar werden, dass so ein Konzept wie Human-Centric
A
Lighting,
concept
das für
like
Menschen das richtige
human-centric
Licht liefern soll,
lighting, delivering the right
durchaus
light
nicht
for
einfach
humans,
nur so funktioniert,
doesn't
sondern
just
eben
work
erst
like
durch
this,
einen guten
it only
Planungsprozess,
works with a good planning process.
richtig funktioniert.
That's how it works.
Wir haben, um das ein bisschen zu untermauern,
In order to
auch gezeigt, wie wir
underline,
uns vorstellen,
we
dass
have
so ein
shown
Beleuchtungskonzept
what we
beschrieben
think,
werden
how
kann.
to
Es
describe
ist
this
ganz
type of
einfach, wir
lighting
sind ja als
concept.
Verband der
We are
Hersteller
here as an
jetzt nicht dafür
association
da,
of the
um
manufacturers.
einzelne Lösungen
We are
von
not
einzelnen
here
Herstellern
in
hervorzuheben.
order to
Deswegen
highlight
nur
individual
in
solutions of
Anführungszeichen
individual
prinzipiell,
manufacturers.
wie kann
So
man
as a
zum
matter of
Beispiel,
principle, what can we
so
do?
einen Industrieraum beleuchten.
How can
Das ist so
you
ein Beispiel,
offer
wo
a
wir dann
lighting
sehen, dass
solution for
Beleuchtung
this
auswählen, ein
industrial
Designkonzept für die
space?
Beleuchtungslösung entwickeln
So
sollten,
these are the
unter
solutions,
Berücksichtigung auch der Lichtsteuerung.
taking into account, for
und der
instance,
Bedienung
the
der
lighting
Beleuchtung.
control in this industrial
Das sollte dann
space.
so dargestellt werden,
And
dass
how
es
do you
verständlich
operate
ist
it?
und die Wirkung
We
der
want
Beleuchtung
people
sollte
to
auch
think
schon
it's
sehr früh
easy to
im
understand,
Planungsstadium
and the effects of the
mit
lighting
beschrieben
system
werden.
should be described
Das
early
sollte
on
dazu
in the
führen, dass
planning
letztlich der
process.
Nutzer
And we can see that we're not only talking about the user, so that the planner thinks about the users, so that they know what we need. So it should be part of a planning concept, this information for the user. Think about the user. And that's what we would love to see for this type of installation that we see right here for an office. Not only that it has the units for special light modes or operating panels, but that you also have a sound description so that the user knows what to do. There is light, it is installed. How do we use it? There are special light modes, for instance. And where's the benefit of the light mood? Maybe it sounds banal to you, but you don't find it in practical life. And for each and every planning process, it is important to say that we have written an information sheet, and this information sheet should tell you what the user will do with this lighting installation. That's important for the person who commissions it, because then you know what type of control we are doing, and it helps to see that we have an operating panel with 3 buttons, and you can understand it. You describe it in a way that you understand what is happening. Or if we talk about light control via smartphone, here again the light mood should be well explained and easy to understand for the user. So the user should know what they'll have if they push one of the buttons. It sounds maybe banal to you, and you'll say, it's logic, isn't it? But real life, reality is like this. You have beautiful lighting systems, and then you have a panel with buttons, and someone just left the buttons, and you have certain light modes, and the users are alone. They maybe have a little piece of paper, a little cheat sheet telling them what the buttons do?
Oder auf der mittleren Seite,
Or right at the
selbst
center?
in unserem Fachverband beim ZVEI gibt es Bediengeräte
Even
an der
ourselves,
Wand.
we
Und
have
wenn
in
die
our
Leuchtungsanlage
building,
mehrere
ZVEI,
Lichtstimmungen
we
zulässt,
have
muss man sich als
various
Nutzer
light
erstmal
modes. As the
überlegen, ja, was
user, you have to
bedeuten denn
wonder,
jetzt diese Drehknöpfe, was
what
kann man denn
do
damit
the
machen?
buttons and
Welcher
switches
Drehknopf
mean?
führt
What
zu
am I
welcher
doing? And what is
Beleuchtungssituation?
happening if
Und
I
wie
push
geht
it or
man denn
turn
dann
it or
mit der
do something
Lichtstimmung
about it? So what
Das
am
ist
I
nicht der
doing?
beste Zugang,
It is
um
not
eine
the best
sinnvolle,
access in order
nutzerzentrierte
to come up
Beleuchtungslösung zu
with
steuern.
a meaningful,
Und auf der rechten
human-centered
Seite, das ist auch von
lighting
den
solution. At the
Mitgliedsunternehmen,
right-hand
das
side, one
wirklich
of our
eine schöne
member companies, they have
Beleuchtungskonzeption
a
gemacht hat, mit
beautiful
richtig
light
schönen
concept,
Lichtstimmungen.
beautiful light
Aber installiert
moods,
wurden dann halt
but
eben drei
they have these panels.
Schalterelemente oder beziehungsweise in dem Fall zwei
Well, the switches, as you see right here,
die Lichtstimmung, die man
and the
abrufen kann,
mood, the beautiful
ja, die muss
mood
extra
actually,
auf einem Blatt Papier nochmal
has to be
ausgedruckt werden,
described
damit man
and
überhaupt
printed
weiß,
on a
was
piece of
diese
paper so that we
Lichtstimmungen
know
bedeuten.
what it
Das geht auch
means.
besser und das sollte eigentlich bei der Auswahl der Bediengeräte
And
und bei
if
der
we
Beschriftung der
choose
Knöpfe schon
the
im
panels
Planungsstadium
and if we have the lettering and description of the panels, one should plan
viel zu
beforehand.
tun, damit
There is a
Nutzer
lot
ihre
to do for us
Beleuchtungsanlage verstehen können,
so that
dass der
users can
Nutzer im
understand.
Mittelpunkt steht und
The
das
user is
Human-Centric
at
wirklich
the center.
Human-Centric wird, heißt,
Human-centric
dass man
is
wirklich auch
human-centric.
dem Nutzer
What can we
erklären
do?
sollte, was die
Explain to the
Beleuchtungsanlage
user
für
what
ihn
it is
tun
all
kann.
about and what
Das
it
ist ein
can do for
Prozess,
you
der der
in order to
Planung
make
schon
it,
sehr
in
früh
order to make it
festliegen
a
soll.
human-centric
Wie
solution.
gesagt, Licht
As
wirkt
I
immer
said,
auf uns.
light
Wir können
always
Licht
has
nicht
an effect.
installieren, ohne dass es
You
auf uns
can't
wirkt.
install light without having an
Installieren
effect
wir
on
doch
us.
gleich richtig gutes
Let's
Licht im Sinne
install
der
it
Nutzer, damit
correctly.
wir
Let's
als
install
Menschen
good
in
lighting
gut
solutions
beleuchteten
for
Räumen
human beings
auch
so that we
langfristig uns
have a
wohlfühlen.
long-term
Dazu gehört eine
well-being
gute Planung. Wir haben
effect
mit unserem
in the
Heft
rooms.
versucht, das
You
Ganze
need good
zu
planning
erläutern.
for that. We try to explain it in our
Es gibt
brochure.
jetzt viele, die das Thema Human-Centric
Many would
Lighting
say
kennen.
human-centric
Wir würden
lighting.
gerne noch ein
I
bisschen
heard
mehr
about
wissen
it.
über das Thema,
We'd like to know
wie das bedacht
more
wird von
about it.
Menschen. Wir haben
What do
deswegen
you
eine
think
kleine
about it?
Umfrage
So we
gestartet
came
von
up with a little
licht.de
survey,
aus. Und diese Umfrage könnt ihr hier über
licht.de,
diesen QR-Code,
light.de. We have this QR
wählen, oder
code,
Sie gehen auf unsere Webseite
or check it on
www.licht.de.
our
Unter dem
website
/HCL-Umfrage ist dieser
/HCL
Fragebogen
survey.
abgerufen.
And this is where you find the survey,
Je nachdem,
human-centric,
sind Sie,
and it depends on
Eigner,
whether
sind
you are
Sie
an architect,
Installateur
an
oder
owner,
sind Sie
whether you
Hersteller.
install
Und wir würden uns
lighting
freuen, wenn wir da noch
solutions, or
viele
whether you are a
Antworten bekommen
manufacturer. It
würden,
would be very
damit wir ein
nice for
Gefühl
us,
dafür
very
haben,
much
ist
appreciated, to
Human-Centric
get
Lighting
more
jetzt nur
answers
ein
for our
Buzzword?
survey. Is
Ist es
HCL,
wirklich die
human-centric
Zukunft
lighting,
der
just a
Beleuchtung für
buzzword?
Menschen?
Is it the future
Oder
for
wie
lighting
sehen Sie das
solutions for
denn?
human beings? Or
Dem
what do
Punkt
you
danke
think?
ich für Ihre
Thank you for your kind
Herzlichen
attention.
Dank
Thank you so
und
much.
wünsche noch einen
And
schönen
I hope
Messetag.
that you have a nice day here.